Hello everybody, I'm afraid your time is up again. I know that's gone fast, but there is lunch, and before lunch there is a glass of bubbly to celebrate. So if you can be prepared, our facilitators for the feedback. So we're on dual careers and compliance with Jill Gordon. Thank you, Jill.
You know, we saw many different challenges, say, clearly around childcare, for example, and you know, the cost of that, and how you give up one full salary, one career, the impact, obviously, on the family. So there's a very strong feeling that women still carry the mental load of this. They're the ones that generally, obviously not always, but often carry not just let's say the stress of their own career and managing the childcare, but then also often what goes on in the house and so on as well, with the household admin and whatever. So many different individual solutions around the table. But I think the main message that came out was that not one size fits all. And it's something that a couple have to discuss. And if you can discuss with your company, and again, this question of flexibility, what works for one couple won't work for another, and what works in one company won't work in another. And we need to encourage people to try and find that solution, that flexibility that does make it work for them and their dual career. Then, so much comes out of that that's positive.
Thank you very much. So, shall we go next to global mobility? And just a quick recap what the questions were. What are key issues for women and how can these be addressed? And Dr. Sue Shortland will feed back from the two sessions.
I don't know which direction to look at here because I'm right in the middle, aren't I? So quite often policies weren't transparent and women don't know what support is available, so that might actually make a difference as to whether they felt they could apply. We also discussed issues about sort of career precedence, if you like, that men tend to hold the primary career and women the secondary career, so it's therefore more likely that men will be the lead career. But women want careers too, so whether there's any support that can be given in terms of career support, career counselling and so on to help women to push their own careers forward. That led us into thinking about where women are in the workplace and a discussion about vertical segregation. So women tend not to be in the senior jobs, but expatriates are chosen from the senior roles. So as a result, that could help us explain why we have got fewer women organisationally being sent on assignments. Brand-wise, we felt it was advantageous for companies to advertise that they want women to take international opportunities because it would widen out your diversity pipeline. So we felt that was good, and to encourage, to make available support and to note the support that's available on the ground from service providers as well.
And now we're going over to Allyship, which is Tosin. Thank you.
Thank you. We had an awful lot of discussions around how it could be addressed, because it's one of the key issues which I was really stuck on and passionate about was the pay disparity. A big one was salary and transparency, which is quite popular, however, obviously, how to get that over the line, because it's one of those things within an organisation. I don't know about everyone else, but salary transparency is not widely available. Also, some other key suggestions was also social media presence on Glassdoor, using those feedback from people saying, is it a company that actually is fair and equitable with their pay? So another suggestion was around using a platform of town hall meetings, using a questionnaire to gauge employee engagement on pay transparency.
Thank you very much, Tosin.
Thank you.
Right, and now health and well-being, which is with Caroline. Thank you.
There was a very interesting statistic. I think we weren't too sure where it was from and what the numbers exactly were, but apparently it looks like women are now dying earlier. And we were, you know, in the past, if the man was the breadwinner and the woman was at home, you know, she was doing all these tasks. But now it looks like women are dying a lot earlier than they used to, potentially because they're trying to work full time and do all these tasks, etc. So I'm going to go and look that one up. But in terms of the fact that more and more people are working remotely, a major issue is that there's this blend between work and home. We're not shutting off, and also potentially we're not being seen if there is a problem, because we are working remotely. So a huge focus on mental health. In terms of how to address, we talked about job share, we talked about working flexibly, you know, the same themes are coming up again and again. We all seem to love the idea, bless you, of well-being days as opposed to taking sickness, but that concept of actually an organisation is going to get more out of us from a productivity perspective if we are well. So focusing more on well-being days. Whoever came up with that saying earlier today, we all love it. Another how to address some of these challenges, you know, it's a how to address, but I don't know actually how we would make it work practically, but is having that male focus as well on equal participation at home with domestic support, and making sure that those people that are, you know, working, there is an equal share of what happens at home, not just school drop-offs, but, you know, making sure that kids' lunches are put together if there's caring responsibilities at home, but really making sure that there is an equal share. Again, interesting example coming out of Germany, where companies are incentivizing, I think it was kind of, if people are coming back to work at least a certain amount of time, they're incentivizing men as well to maybe not work as much because they realise that they have to help out at home. So I think there's many similar themes across the tables, but really that focus on mental health and making sure that people are seen. And we reference the very sad case of the lawyer, I'm sure everybody's seen it, who passed away recently. That's been all over the newspapers, you know, that kind of burnout, emotional turmoil, etc., trying to be everything to everybody. And I think, you know, we just have to say stop.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So a lot to take away on that topic too. And now finally Pam Mundy, who's going to sum up for the education table.
There seems to be a big issue in terms of recruiting leaders internationally, female leaders internationally. It tends to be male applicants for a lot of the jobs. And so many organisations are having to recruit internally, which I suppose is very good for women, but, you know, it doesn't always give the flexibility in the workforce and the change. We also discuss the fact that location can sometimes be the issue, and there are misconceptions about certain parts of the world that it's not a great place for women, or women can't be leaders there. And I think that's a narrative that has to change. So that's probably one of the solutions too. And the example I give you is the Middle East. There is a perception that in the Middle East it's harder to be a leader if you're a woman, and it's completely the reverse in education. And also, obviously, that women are underrepresented. Employees have a preconceived idea, and there's a lack of flexibility that it is okay. You can have co-share jobs. You can have part-time workers, and we all want the job that has the 3 days a week paid for 5, definitely. I'm campaigning for that. I think we should have our own branch of OECD, the female branch. So what's the answer? We decided that these are some of the answers, and thank you very much for some fantastic nuggets here that I'm definitely taking away. Obviously, to provide role models for girls in school and at the youngest age, that it is possible that we can be out there. And I love this one. We actually need to tap women on the shoulder and encourage them, and particularly younger female leaders, to step up, and that, yes, you can be out there, and if no one says, I can do this, then no one will. And and obviously to involve girls far more, but actually also look at teacher education in colleges and universities. You know, are we educating the females in that workforce to go and perpetuate a strength in female leadership? And then just finally, to give you 2 very quick nuggets to take away, if not 3, learn to drive the career. So let's support each other to drive not only our own careers, but the careers of younger women who are coming up. I won't say behind us, but alongside us. To be, and I have to credit you with this, Anita, to be job agnostic, and that, you know, patterns of work in the future will be different. I don't know if any of you have read the book Range. That's a brilliant one to look at the fact that, you know, you don't necessarily have one trajectory in your career. Not particularly as a woman, but it's a very useful book to read. Coaching obviously is an answer. And if none of that appeals to you, our lovely colleague here is telling us that in India, women are more highly valued probably in the workforce, particularly in education, and very much as education leaders. So if all else fails, we'll all move to India. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that wonderful summary. So it only leaves me to thank everybody very much for coming, and we will commit to trying to put together some sort of guidelines or overview that we can share. I would like to, as it's International Women's Day, just show you this wonderful publication, which is our 40 Outstanding Global Women, which we started in 2023. And you'll be delighted to know that we completed the 40. Not only that we went on and have a list of people that our wonderful journalists and writers will write up to continue throughout the year on different, in different countries and on different disciplines. So I'd just really like to invite our 11 of them here. So if you wouldn't mind standing up, because I'm sure people would love to meet you over lunch. So Mary Biddlecombe, Esther Clark, Dr. Susan Doring, Professor Deborah Eyre, Gina Lodge, Pam Mundy, Julia Palmer, Ingrid Pope, Dr. Sue Shortland, Ellen Shustic, and Caroline Thorley Farah. So a round of applause, and thank you for everyone.